Hey, oops. Old man glasses again. Every time. It seems like every single time I get on here, I forget I got them on my face. I wear these so damn much anymore. And I know everybody's in the same damn boat, but we hate having them on. But gotta have them. All right. First off, want to mention Rockstar Graphics and Design, Rob De Gregorio. I always have trouble saying it. De Gregorio. He They sponsor the Rock Altar. They sponsor Rockin' with B Rock. They do all my graphics, all my design. Well, not all my graphics. The crappy ones, them are the ones I do. The really cool ones, them are the ones they do. Rob is fantastic. So if you got graphic design work you need done, go see Rob at Rockstar Graphics and Design. All right. Now, finally, after a couple postponements, one because I had to deal with traffic, another because of an emergency within the band, we finally got the Atomic Kings here. If you like 70s riff rock, these guys are your thing. It's not hard and heavy. It's not going to give you a headache. It is groovy, kick ass. I mean, I really dig this album. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from it at first. Didn't really know because it was a new band. You don't know what to expect. And I can't even compare them to somebody. I really can't. They stand on their own. They're just really, really cool. If you have not checked them out, which I know everybody has, so I'm just telling you what you already know. So let's talk to the guys. They're all here. This is Rockin' with B Rock. This is the Rock Altar, baby. They're all here. What's happening? You're all fucking ditching me already. Now, I'm going to tell you all right now, these guys, I don't know what to expect with these guys. These guys, I've seen a couple interviews that they've done, and they're off the chain. So I really didn't write anything down because they're just going to take over. I already know this.
We're going to try to put in, change a new leaf and try to be very serious from here on out. Let's be serious, right? Okay, yes, we're serious.
Come on, man. It's not what I expected. All right, that's the end of the show. We're out of time.
We'll go back to being the Four Stooges.
So what's happening? How y'all guys doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome. Good to be here, man.
Yeah.
Good
Finally, after a couple failed attempts, we're glad to be here.
Chasing me around all this time.
I hate
Mike, interview us, please interview us.
Right. Yeah, that was it. I think it was like you guys were like, oh my God, thank God we don't have to do that. And then, okay, we really don't want to do it today. Let's have an emergency in the band. That's a good one.
And we found out we'd used the same emergency 3 times. Yeah. Oh, crap. He's on to us.
I'm on to you. You guys are scheduled. You're coming on, or I will I'll cancel your YouTube channel, something. I don't know. I have so much pull in the industry. I get you taken right off Spotify. Done. Gone.
Fair enough.
Nice.
That's why we're here.
Well, we're going to lose that on that 0.19 cents.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm killing you now. And that's 0.19 cents after like 6 billion streams.
Yeah. Well, those add up. I mean,
they do. You get like a check for like 3 cents.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, we're all very young, so we've got a long time to wait for that money.
Right. Your ship's going to come in. I mean, one of these days you're going to, it might not be this band, but you guys are going to keep this band together, and then you're going to go do separate projects. Then the money's going to just start pouring in after you've got no time, and you make like $50 a month then.
Wow. Well, fortunately, we're all incredibly wealthy, along with.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a hobby.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan's a hand model, but it's a model.
A hand model. Wow.
Show them your hands. Show them the back.
Let me see them. Let's see them.
Oh,
boy. My goodness. You call yourself a guitar player, you even got any calluses.
That's not what we call him.
What's that under your fingernails?
That's because I play with my feet.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's talent. And you do it very well, I must say. I didn't even notice.
And an improvement.
Yeah, thank you.
An improvement. Now, let's start with how this band came about. Now, how did you guys know each other? Was there other projects you were involved in with each other, and then you just came, or you just wanted to do something with each other? How did this band come about?
Well, Ken is like a
It's
legend here in
100%
Phoenix,
Greg's fault.
and all of us
Legend.
wanted to be in a band with Ken desperately. So we had to fill out an application.
Wow.
Speak
It's
to
getting
him
really, really deep.
to see about whether we could be in a band with a legend like Ken. And I mean, none of us made it. So
It's truly an honor.
Wow. Ken,
basically, I had another band, and over the course of time, musicians came and went. And I basically, how would I want to put this? I was looking for a guitarist to do this band with, and I didn't know Ryan's name, but I had seen him play before, and I thought he was a really great guitarist. So I had to call around, and I called a friend of mine, Steve Conley, who plays in Flotsam and Jetsam, and I said, there used to be this blonde-haired guy that played with Hammond. He's a guitar player, singer guy. He goes, oh, yeah, you mean like Ryan McKay? I said, yeah, do you have his number? And he said, yeah. So he sent me his number, and I got together with Ryan, and he heard some of the material that I had been fooling around with, and he liked it. It was very guitar oriented, so he was interested. I had different drummers, and it's funny, I was thinking of a drummer to get because some of the ones we'd hadn't been working out. And I went, damn it, I could have called Jimmy Taft, because I had been in a band with Jimmy, and he's a great drummer, and him and I are really good friends. But for some reason, I kind of spaced it out. So
you were in a band with him already, and you still?
No, we had been in bands previously.
He made quite an impact.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
I didn't know you were
I
Jimmy.
left quite an impression. Clearly,
Oh, Jimmy. Your name is Jimmy?
Oh, you're Jimmy Taft.
hey, when you run out of options, you call Jimmy.
Okay, I've come to the end of the list. Can you please play drums for me?
So we've seen everybody. Who haven't we seen? Well, there's Jimmy Taft. Oh, crap.
He was playing the wazoo at the time. We didn't realize he was a
Oh, wow.
drummer.
So I asked him if he was interested. I played him some material. He liked it, but before he could even telling me that he wanted to do it, I did an interview and said, "Yeah, our new drummer, Jimmy Taft."
You already announced him.
And before he even said he was in the band.
yeah.
And then Ken, we lost a bet. I mean, Ken.
I lost the bet.
Now Ken really is probably the most highly regarded singer in Phoenix, and I had done a cover project with him that didn't work, but I really liked his voice, and he's literally the nicest guy you ever met, which is really kind of
You son.
it's really kind of like it offsets my mean prickness.
Wait a minute, but I know I've heard the thing: nice guys don't play rock and roll.
Well,
Have you heard the record?
yeah,
I
Ken's the
That
exception.
dispels that myth.
Yeah.
Ken's the exception.
Yeah.
So I just I called Ken up, said, "Are you interested?" Little did I know that Jimmy then sent him a couple songs so we could have a cheat sheet.
Slip you some stuff.
And he showed up at a rehearsal, and
Just-
we played some new material, and he sang to it, and it was perfect for what he was the exact kind of voice we were looking for. So
I'm telling you.
it's kind of like it's very serendipitous how this kind of happened. It's just it seemed like everything lined up at the same time
Right.
in a way, and we all get along really good. We all like the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's I mean, we're very 70s rooted, so
Right.
all of us believe in that sort of thing, and we believe in what we write, and so it worked out really good.
And I gotta say, it is a 70s kind of feel to it. It's a, you have the grooviness, the funkiness, the rock. Different songs are different. It's not all hard edged, bam in your face. It is really cool music. That
Well, a lot of people say, yeah, we're doing the 70s thing, but unless you really have an understanding of how the 70s actually worked, you're probably not. And we do. I mean, I was playing in bands in the 70s probably before these guys were, and I don't know if they were playing in the 70s. So where I come
I was
from,
still in the
Definitely
crib.
was.
It's
Yeah,
still
you-
the sandbox,
so I
Playing myself.
so I
monkey
definitely
bars.
it's pretty
They were
authentic.
playing on the monkey bars.
Yeah,
So it's pretty authentic for what we do. So
it really is.
try to be anything else other than
Yeah, we didn't try to do a lot of modern production technique. A lot of the you know, when you record an album now, because you have like all these unlimited tracks, you could always add like extra guitars and layer upon layer upon layer.
Right.
And we didn't do that. We kept it pretty bare bones and just kind of let the music speak for itself and not try to overdo it, because that's a real easy thing to do, like to overthink stuff or
It's like
add
Monopoly
layers.
money.
So we didn't
Right.
add a ton of layers of vocals and guitars and, you know, all this and that. And if we did add some keyboards and stuff, they were like straight out of the 70s, because that's what we love. You hear like
Right.
Mellotron / Chamberlain string ensemble thing. You hear a B3 Hammond organ. So there's not a lot of like contemporary sounds on it. It's just, you know, Les Paul, Marshall, drum kit, bass guitar, vocal, you know, and those sort of 70s vibe things in there, you know.
We know who we are.
And we recorded all of the rhythm tracks were recorded live. You know, it wasn't, you know, let's lay down a drum track and then, you know, Greg will come in and put his bass pieces in, and then Ryan will come in and put his guitar pieces in. We actually recorded the record live, which I think tends to help out with that the more authentic feel of it all.
And it's not even on a click track.
No,
Right.
Nothing.
That's something I was going to ask, because it had that feel to me. You could tell if you got an ear for music, you could tell when it's layered. When you send this, okay, I'll send this track to Jimmy. He could lay his drums on it. Then I'll email to Greg. He could lay his bass tracks, and you can tell when it's like that. I mean, it just doesn't have that emotion, I guess, or that feeling to it, you know. But when you're in the studio and you're live and you're just laying it down, feeding off each other, a new lick might come to you that you didn't have before, because you feel it. You're feeding off this one, that one's feeding, and you can tell with this album it was done that way.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, and also all the rhythm tracks are within 3 takes. I mean, there's some. Take My Hand is 1 take. It's 1 take. That's it.
One take.
And that's 1 take, bass and drums. And there's other stuff on that's one. There's not one song on there that's more than 3 takes. So we were well rehearsed. And as I said earlier, we know who we are, and we knew. To me, the best records ever made were made by 4 guys or 5 or whatever in a room together.
That's right.
And playing together. You know, getting the spontaneity off of Jimmy might do something different on the drums that makes me out of the blue do something different on the bass, which makes Ryan do something different too. And so the only things that are really done as an afterthought is some of the guitar solos, which were done like the way that was done back then, and then Ken's vocals. So we wanted it to have a completely live, spontaneous, almost jam-like feel.
Right.
Because there's some jamming parts in some of the songs, and we wanted it to have a very authentic 70s sort of vibe, and I think we, you know, accomplished that.
You did accomplish that, and it comes off totally that way. I love it.
Thank you.
Jimmy and I had actually worked in a project 20. Oh boy, are we going to sound bad? Maybe 29.
Just say 10.
29, 10 years ago.
10
Jimmy and
years
I
ago.
project.
No one's gonna know.
And so these guys don't realize I was already a fan of Ryan's playing in tone before I'd really even met Ryan, and as soon as I heard what these guys were putting together, I immediately started to put together my evil plan, find a way to break the band up, and then just kind of put myself in the right spot at the right time. But I haven't told anybody that until just now.
So how's your plan coming together? Really? It seems like you're failing.
The diabolical Ken Rock.
He's not too nice after all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really just an evil plan.
right. Hey,
He's the wrong number.
so wrong. No shit. But yeah, it does. You guys, I love what you did with it. You didn't overproduce it. You just put it out there. All I Want, the first song we played, I think that was your first single. And that kind of hooked me. I was like, wait a minute, this is a little different. You know, it's not what I expect. You know, people do expect certain things from musicians because, you know, at this point in the game, you guys have been in different bands that people know about. And they expect, oh, this is going to be like that. No, it's not. It's not the same 4 guys. these 4 guys are different than them 4 guys that were in the room. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect from this, but I'm hoping for the best, and I was not let down. You know,
Well, All I Want is an interesting track because I wrote that in like 1979.
wow.
And I had actually submitted it for a couple other projects that I was in. And as a matter of fact, I tried to submit it in Badlands, and for whatever reason, Ray wasn't feeling it. So we just never picked it beyond me playing them a couple of the parts.
Right.
And so the first song that we wrote for this album was All I Want. When we got together and started working, I said, listen, I know that this song has been kind of passed over a couple times, but I really think there's something here, and let's see if we can make it into something which, you know, it's probably the most commercial track on the record, but it's still got a lot of parts in it. It's got a killer guitar solo. It's got some great changes in it. There's some rhythmic changes, which wouldn't be like your traditional commercial song, but it's got a great chorus, you know, a la Mr. Ronk here. And it worked out really good. So I'm really glad that the song finally got to be, it's been kind of in my head since 1979. So
wow.
Like a voice in there going, kill them all. I know that's your voice. I'm sorry.
Almost like that one. That's
And you had to have been shaking. You're like, guys, can we try this one, please?
We don't play this song.
If we don't write this song, he's going to kill all of us.
Craig's like, that's it. Somebody's fucking doing it. No, I think, Rog, your vocals on this, okay, Gillen, great, amazing singer.
Absolutely,
But
Ray, the best.
one of the best, just amazing. But I'm just saying, you fit this song totally. When you said, you know, you presented it to Badlands, I went back and I tried to think of Ray doing it. I'm like, no, it fits better this way. I like what you did with it. You didn't over the top it or anything like that. You just went straight for it and that's like all these songs on here. Escape, Live, I've Got Mine. I mean, these songs are just beautifully done.
It's important for us to not overthink stuff. And then when you listen to the record, that is kind of the byproduct of that, is that, you know, you're so tempted, and Ryan was mentioning earlier, because of the ways that you can layer stuff on and that, to maybe explore some of that. But for us, we really understood when a song was finished and not to overthink it. Could I do, you know, that's really cool. Could I do more in this? Or could I do this? Right. And what you're hearing on there from Jimmy, for example, is probably, when we first came up with all the tracks, is probably 80% of what his drum parts started out to be. And same with the guitar, same with the bass. And Ken, when we start writing something, he starts singing, and for the and for the greater time of it, he's probably hitting on exactly what works right out of the gate.
First time around.
So I mean, we don't sit there. I mean, with my bass parts, I don't sit there and go, okay, yeah, that's cool. It's kind of simple. Maybe I could doctor it up a little bit. Anytime I do that, it ends up not being as good. So I always go back to I always say your first impression is the strongest.
Right, and that's the truth.
We're hearing on that record, to a great extent, is our first impressions of the song, regardless of who wrote it.
Yeah, they're very spontaneous. And you know, speaking about expectations, you know, Greg's got obviously quite the history, and we knew that, or we thought that maybe with Greg's name and everything kind of leading up front, there was going to be a lot of expectations of this is going to be the next coming of Badlands and whatnot. So it's for us, we really haven't noticed that a whole lot.
No.
And I know for me, there was times when Greg and Ryan or the band would play something, and I was a big fan of Ray and Badlands, and I could hear something that would trigger something I would sing, and I would catch myself immediately say, oh, wait a minute, you know. So I purposely stayed away from that. You know, Ray's probably one of the greatest singers ever, and so it really was unexpected that there wasn't a lot of comparisons, because at least for me, I really thought there was going to be, you know.
And I thought so too. And so far, a lot of the reviews I've seen and a lot of people talking, I've seen, and there's been really no comparison, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we want to kind of stand on our own. I mean,
and you do.
chemistry is undeniable, and the way that I write is very similar to the approach that Jake would write with. Jake's not a less is more guy. Jake's always looking for the next interesting part, and so am I. That's kind of, it's not something I learned from him. It's something I've always done, which is one of the reasons we mesh so well together. So we weren't trying to sound like anything. We were just trying to do what was authentic to us. And, you know, if people get something out of it, they get it. But for us, it wasn't trying to sound like, I wasn't trying to write the next High Wire or
Right.
try to write the next Dreams in the Dark or
That's
whatever.
been done already.
We're going to write
Yeah.
what we write. And there are people that get that flavor out of it, but that's just simply the byproduct of how we write a song.
Right. And you did, you know, and that's the proper way to do it. You guys are the Atomic Kings. You're not
Right.
Greg Chason and the rest of them. I mean, here we go with that. You know, you guys have done this the right way. When I first listened to it, I was hooked just because it did not sound like anything else. It was not something that was regurgitated from this, or they're trying to throw back to, you know, this and that. And you can feel that. And then that turns, at least for me, it'll turn me off. You know, Poison will make, okay, look what the cat dragged in. Okay, can we make that again? Okay, we'll make it again. Now I'm not buying it because I already have it. I've already got that one. I want something different. Some people can't, you know, like Metallica. They grow with every album. They, you know, and they change. Just like us as humans, we change. We're not the same person we were in 81. It's now 2024. I'm different, and different things mean something to me. So I'm going to grow. You guys have grown since Badlands was 89, 90. You've grown since then. You've changed, and now this is who you are, and this is fantastic.
Well, we're actually writing record number 2 right now.
Very cool.
The whole process of writing that record, the one conscious effort is to make sure that we expand on what we're doing. I wanted the next record to sound as good as this one, except like we move the pile forward.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and there's always things that you think of, like when we approach making another record, is just that you think, you know, what we didn't do last time is this. You know, we didn't do last time, or we didn't do this, a song that does that. You know, so there's a bunch of things on that list of things that we want to do. So there's, you know, the sky's the limit. I mean, there's always stuff to do that we haven't attempted yet. I mean, we have no intention of making a carbon copy of what we've done before. It's still going to sound like us because, you know, that's just how we work. But there's all kinds of things that we haven't explored yet. And so that's what making a second record is all about. But like you said, pushing the ball forward.
Yeah.
And forward.
You made an interesting point that, you know, about Greg and then some guys. And to me, it was really important that it's not that way. Right. That I want people to know who these guys are. I mean, I've played with a lot of people. These guys are as legitimate as they come.
Exactly.
They're world-class players. I got the best of the best here in Phoenix, and these guys could compete on the world stage as well. And I know that because I've been there, and these guys are there too. And so I want people to know what Ryan's do. I don't write all the songs. We write the songs. It might start with a riff of mine, or it might start a riff of Ryan's, and it could start with a riff of Jimmy's. And then we all kind of put it together as we go. So this is a band situation with guys that I respect that are all really good players. I like to be in a situation where I don't have to look at the guy next to me when we're playing live and try to figure out what the hell he's doing.
With these guys, you already know that.
I have that in this band.
Who is that?
In this band, I know.
I thought we fired you.
I know Jimmy's going to drive the car, and I
Jimmy?
can't be singing the way he's supposed to, and I know Ryan will be doing his thing. Just allows me to do my thing. So it's really a perfect situation for me.
And that was one thing I wanted to touch on. You know, this is a band effort writing process. It's everybody. It's not just one or two guys. It is everybody acting what they want.
Yeah.
It's whatever anybody brings to the stew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether Ryan or I start a riff, what it's
Right.
always going to end up to be different by the time Jimmy puts in what Jimmy has, and then Ryan has some. I might play something that inspires something in Ryan, vice versa, and then once Ken comes in, it's going to be, and we also have a hand in with Ken and the melody lines and that sort of thing, not just to making sure everything works. So we're all in each other's business, and no one has a ego about it, and we go do our thing because it's all about the song, and whatever makes the song work great is what we're all for that, and we understand that, and so it's really a cooperative that way. So
now playing live music now, playing music now as opposed to years past, you guys are having more fun with it now, it seems. There's not a record label trying to push you. There's not management trying to push you into doing this. It seems like maybe, from what I'm getting, is you guys are a little more laid back, doing your thing, having fun with it, and there's really not a lot of pressure unless you put it on yourself.
Well, we understand there's no music or there's no money in it. So when you're
once you figure that out, it's just
when you're trying to make a living at it, we realize that isn't possible. And we all have jobs and careers outside of being musicians. And so we play music for the sheer love of playing music.
Link now.
We write music for the sheer love of writing it. So.
www.firedjimmycab.com.
But I think we're all fans of that music as well, and all of the great bands seem to have that thread of progressing through each album. And I know for us, we try to even do that through each song, and I think that's why there's sometimes when we're writing something and we'll think, wait a minute, that sounds too much like that, or they'll let me know, hey, you're singing kind of the same thing you did in that. And I think that's what lets each song also be different and have its own voice.
And each song is. I mean, it's like when I first listened to the album, it didn't know what to, you go on to this one. It's like, wait a minute, now this one's funky. Now this one's a harder edge. Like you got Escape is like a funky, really like Stevie Ray Vaughan-ish kind of thing going on in there. And it was like, wow, this is kind of really cool. You don't get that much anymore. Then you had I Got Mine. That's got a funk to it. Then you got a straight up rocker live. You got these songs that it takes you on different little journeys. It's like a book. You're reading each chapter. I think an album should be like that. And that's how this is. It wasn't just one song. Okay, we're going to do this and a kind of a version of that one here. And then the third song is going to be a ballad. That. There was no, it has to be this way. You just did what you wanted, and it just turned out really cool in my opinion.
Well, that's the beauty of not having someone over your back, whether
We
it's
like
a
your
record company or a manager telling you, well, no, that isn't going to work. So we basically were in, even though we were on a label and we had a producer, we were in control of what we wanted to do. And that was important to us. Each song, like you said, should take you on a journey. And we felt that we had also achieved that. So,
yes,
there's nothing worse than buying a record. And I can say this, and Ryan would probably back me up because he's a record buyer. And you get it, and the first song's killer, and then there's one or two songs after that, and you got a 10-song record, and the rest 7 are fillers, and 3 you'll listen to. So for us, we wanted to cover a lot of different ground, whether it's
no time
the funkier stuff or the harder rock stuff, and even a little metally sort of thing to something as mellow as Jimmy's Page, or even something like Running Away, which kind of has a little bit of a ballad wistfulness thing to it. So we wanted to be able to cover all the bases that we were interested in on this record, and then on the next one we have other bases to cover.
Right.
And Sharkman put a comment up there earlier, so we want to say thanks, Sharkman.
Yeah, Sharkman.
We saw your comment up there, so appreciate it.
We can see
Sharkman. He is one of the biggest supporters of rock music. I mean, I love this guy. He's he's up in Michigan, and he said, "Love to see you up in Michigan. Let's pull some strings."
Make it happen.
All right, man.
Shark, you can do this. You know how to do this. If I can do it, you can do it.
We don't have any.
love
We
to.
don't have any jackets out here in Arizona.
We have to buy. We need to buy some jackets, and we'll. Get it.
Okay, you go. I know where they have hoodies at. TheRockAltar.com. Got hoodies there. I'll send you links.
Nice
We got,
Nicely done.
That's a pro.
bam, right in there. See that?
Yeah.
Now, oh, what was I going to say? Now, doing it now, you don't have a record label. Well, you have a record label, but you don't have people pushing you.
That's true.
Is this better? Or, because now there's no money to be made in it. And people ask me, because I have a radio station and I have this, and they say, hey, so you're making any money at it? And I'm like, no, it's costing me a fortune. And they go, well, why are you doing it? Well, because I love doing it. And you got to have a radio station that gives you the classic tracks, the Badlands, the Motley Crues, the Rats, and new stuff. The Atomic Kings, Crash Diet, Crazy Licks. These, you've got to have that mix, and there ain't many radio stations that'll do it without giving you the growling and the corns and all that crap. So it's like you do it for the love of it, and that's what you guys do. You do it for the love of it. There's no money to be made anymore. It's somebody else is getting rich off things, and it ain't us.
Yeah,
Right.
and Greg can probably speak more to that, but for me, as little as I know about record labels, I don't know if we could have done this record under a label. I think they would have had their thumb all over it, and I don't know if we could have been ourselves as much, So it's a little bit of a trade-off, probably.
Yeah. I mean, not only is there no money in it, but anytime you try to get your record noticed, there's charges involved. So it seems like every turn, the musician is the guy that's shelling out the money.
Yeah.
The musician is the one that's always paying for everything. So it's a losing proposition. But
good thing we like to play.
but we enjoy doing it. We like
Right.
I love to do it. It's I was put on this earth to do it. So I'll keep doing it, and I don't.
He's talking about music, right?
It's still not quite as expensive as golf.
It's still yes.
No.
It's about a tenth of the price of a couple rounds of golf.
Right, exactly.
At
And that
Pebble
is so expensive, man. I mean, God, we'll get you down here. Y'all go to Myrtle Beach, do a show in Charleston or my area. Then go to Myrtle Beach, do a show there, and then on Sunday, bam, you're doing a couple rounds of golf. That sounds like a plan for 2024.
Sign us up.
Sounds
I'm down
good.
for that.
I'm down for that.
And like you said, there's no money to be made, so I'm not paying.
Oh,
Oh,
That's all right.
Just
You
saying.
just pay for the gas, which
Okay.
Have a good time.
Oh,
I could
and right
12
now,
grand.
2024, that's going to be what, $60 a gallon? So, all right, I think I could do that.
plus Jimmy and I are going to need between 6 and 28 beers
6. There's
28.
per 9
I'm
holes.
glad you narrowed it down
Yeah.
between 6 and
I'm
29.
all about details.
Depends on how well the first 6 go down.
exactly.
Right. It always depends on how well.
Sometimes it's like, wow, this release tasting good today.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
Other
my
days
God.
you're
Yeah,
like,
The golf
28
game
beer.
sure sucks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
It's this
28
beer
beer
game.
game.
My golf game sucks drunk or sober.
dude,
It's the
I
same.
They always ask you what's your handicap golfing. Mine is that I have clubs.
that's a good one. I can't do it for shit. I mean, I tried. I was better at drinking during the golfing. I would end up on the wrong hole. And the guys would run up to me going, dude, this is not your ball. What?
Why don't you keep that to golf?
Yeah.
Lining up. I got some dude dragging me off the thing. Whatever. I gave up golf. There's
Talking about golf, I back in the 70s, one of my best friends was Bobby Blotzer. So we had a regular
love
Thursday.
that guy.
We had a regular Thursday golf game. It was Blotzer, Tommy Lee,
Oh my God.
me, and Jay
Wow.
Jay Reynolds, who played in Malice.
Cheater.
Oh my goodness.
2 golf carts and this really expensive golf club, Palos Verdes, up on the ocean, and cruising through there. And Tommy Lee's tipping the golf cart over and hitting some guy's golf ball from the fairway back to towards that.
Greg loves to race.
Yeah, it was, that was my kind of golf.
Right. Tommy Lee, the dude from Malice. Oh my God, I love Malice.
Oh, yeah.
License to Ill. That was one of the best albums.
That's
God.
a great record. That's my
It is.
favorite. That's my favorite metal record of all time.
Really, it's up there for me. I mean, it's
Number of the
not
Beast.
Number of the Beast. Oh yes.
You know, you were talking about the record thing, and Ryan was talking about it. And one of the things that was important to us, whether we could have a label and still do this, was we wanted to have complete creative control of what we did.
Exactly.
And we talked to a few labels, and the one we decided to go with, that was the caveat, is we had to have complete control of the material, the arrangement of the material, and even the mixing. We wanted it mixed a certain way. So the guy, Jason, would mix it from Tone House. He would mix it, then he'd send it up to us, and then Ryan and I would listen to it and send back changes. And then when you got it close, then Jimmy and Ken would get involved, and then they'd put their changes in. So the whole record is basically mixed by his basic mix. And by the time we were done, he had a pretty good idea of what we wanted.
Yeah, and he was really good about that.
But
I mean, it sounds like a horrible process, but it actually was really smooth. I mean, everybody was really cool. We were on the same page almost like all the time.
And it was actually very cathartic to have it that way too, because you're like so stressed out about it, about making sure, because when I think about mixing a record, I hear it a certain way, and fortunately everyone else hears it the same way that I do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of records aren't mixed that way. They're mixed right up the middle. And our record is using the whole sonic spectrum that you have, whether it's 100% with 50 in the middle, we're using it all. And to me, that's one of the reasons that I think that the Atomic Kings record sounds so good, is because we're using all the space available to get the separation of the instruments. To me, there's nothing worse than having the drums with the vocals on top of the drums, with the guitar on top of the vocals, and the bass is somewhere in there. You can, it's almost disconcerting to listen to it, because it doesn't kind of give you a spot to breathe. And when on this record, when I listened to it, we accomplished what we set out to do, which was to have a really open sound where you could hear the drums, and the bass had its own spot, and the guitar solos, you can hear them, and Ken had his own spot. And then where everything else is, whether it's some keyboards or harmonica or all that if we had mixed it modernly, you wouldn't have been able to hear all that the way you hear it now.
You definitely would not have the same.
And each song was different. Each song had a little bit different mix. You know, there's songs that were featuring Greg on bass, and you know, there's some that definitely had Jimmy and Ryan's part. So each song had its own mix. Every song wasn't mixed exactly the same as the next.
Right. Now you're talking my language. You know, when you talk the layering, you know, modern recording is not as good as it used to be. Now, would there ever be a album release of this? Because that would just be like, this would fit perfectly.
We want to, but here again, it's a budgetary thing.
It's a budgetary thing. It's not cheap. It ain't cheap.
$2,000 that we are weighing the options of. We could do it, although there are other things we could use that same amount of money for. You know, in pushing the music out.
And you can always go back and reissue.
Yeah, I know.
The four of us definitely would like to put it on.
I'm a huge vinyl aficionado.
Oh yes.
I have a huge vinyl record collection, so that nothing would give me more joy than to have an Atomic Kings vinyl. So I'm a champion for it, but I realize that there's it's something we all have to discuss and agree on.
So if you're
once again, you can send your donations.
If you're an incredibly wealthy person and are looking for a band to back, Atomic Kings is your group.
If somebody wants that vinyl for us and pay for it, then you're going to get a healthy cut of it.
And we'll give you one of them free.
You'll get a free album.
You get one free.
He's very generous, as I said.
It's scrap, and it doesn't. It's warped.
It's got a little bit of a warp to it. Missing labels.
It's free.
Ken left it on the roof of his car.
Yeah. Drove up and it slid down the street.
Now, you seem old school. Singles versus albums. A lot of bands want to just do singles. You guys are one of them bands that want to release the album as well.
Album guy. Yeah. You said it's like a book. You know,
it is.
I totally agree. It's like a book.
It would be incomplete if we did
Every
it one at
chapter.
a time.
Yeah,
Right.
30 chapters in a book.
I get, doing like we did back in the day, release a single, release another single, then the album comes out. But there's
Yeah.
some bands that say, you know what, there's no money to be made in the album release, so I'm just going to release singles all the time. And I get where they're coming from, but you're not telling the whole. I can't
Exactly.
put the whole story together.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to feel something for 40 minutes or 50 minutes. I want to feel something. I want to sit down in my recliner, put it on the stereo. I still got the component stereo, Denon this, Kenwood that, TIAC, whatever.
Nice.
But it's like I still got all them components. I sit down, I put an album on or even a CD, and I take out the liner notes and I'm looking and I'm reading and I'm immersing myself. Sometimes headphones, sometimes not. But if you're only putting singles out, you only got me for 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You want me for longer than that. You want to take me on a journey. Please, I want to go on that journey. And it's like,
we're on the same
Yeah.
boat with you. It was never even a point of discussion for us. It's always, because we all come from the same school, it sounds like,
Right.
where, you loved being able to sit down, put that record on, pull
Yeah.
out the liner notes, read as you're getting
yeah,
in. There's far more immersion there. And frankly, I would much rather people listen to our entire record
Yeah.
than cherry pick some
It
songs.
used to be half the excitement when you'd
Yeah.
get a new album and you'd get home
Right.
and you'd unwrap it and
oh my goodness, what am I in for?
Especially
it's like
the
new
John
electronics.
records.
The first thing you do is smell it.
Right?
I hear my
I'd always smell the cassettes.
Yeah, yeah.
The clear ones always
Yeah.
smelled like a grape to me. And I'm like, yep, it's
I
great.
agree. I remember that smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
Somebody order me
I mean, it's part of the excitement of a new album.
Okay, this
give
is
me a
getting little
sealed
weird for me.
sealed Badlands cassette from 1988. Let's
Speaking of
open it.
smells, Ken,
is that you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Plus, if you do all the singles, if you go on Apple Music or Spotify, those singles look like releases unto themselves, which they
Yeah.
are.
Right.
But it bars you from ever having that experience of enjoying the entire album all the way through, right? Because
Right.
all you see is single, 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 single,
Yeah.
and you got to go way down. I mean, if there even is an LP, then you won't even get
You would
to it.
skip that
You-
chapter anyway once
It's like
you
you
got the
screw
book.
yourself, so you might as well
Right.
put the record out.
Might as well, right, exactly. And that's just the way it should be. I that's how I am. I get where these younger bands are doing the single, whatever. I mean,
We're old.
yeah.
we're damn old.
Never would you not say that?
Beyond 30, like
Please.
us.
Don't
I know.
say that. I'm 35. Or what? Like Crazy Lick says, 21 till I die.
There you go.
Don't give a shit.
I'm 3,500. I think if you just listen to one song off the record, you're missing out on the complete total package.
You really are.
It's like reading a book from the middle of the middle of the book,
No.
and not really knowing what happened at the beginning or the end. So the way
Yeah.
the record was written and recorded was to be kind of like an adventure. I know that's kind of pretentious to say, but that was what we were thinking. We wanted you to be able to travel from All I Want to Escape to, whatever it was, till all the way to the end of the record at
Right.
the Bloodline. And, that was an important part of the story that we wanted to tell. Whether people wanted to hear it or not was irrelevant to us. We wanted to tell that story because that story kind of is the story of the four of us from the point of view of the music part of it, of where we were at when we wrote this stuff, when we recorded it. Someday, in a couple of years when I'm gone and these guys are listening to it and they're talking about, yeah, remember Jason? I never liked him, but he played the bass.
He was a good bass player.
Yeah,
Good bass player. Hell of a shit guy, but he was a great bass player.
He'll be missed.
but you'll know where we were at when we were writing. Where we were at when we wrote the record, and that's important.
Right. And that's the thing. You don't watch a movie from the middle. You don't know what the hell happened over here, what the hell happened over there. Now Spotify and YouTube and social media all have their place, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook, you're not, if if you're not in the algorithm of somebody's not going to know you.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
And that's why we appreciate you having us, and
Right.
you know,
it's become a necessary evil.
That's what I call it all the time. It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Well, we learned some stuff from this record, and one of the things we learned on this record that we won't repeat on the second one is we need to promote the record better. And by the time we realized that we were lacking in that department, the record had already been out 4 months. Now, that doesn't mean we're still not pushing the record, because we think it's a valid piece of art, in our minds, and we want people to hear it. And I think the more people that hear it, I've never heard anyone say they don't like it. And so,
all right, then I changed what I said. I don't like it.
Oh.
I want to be original here, man.
Well, look, Larry,
we've had them say they don't like us, but they've not said they don't like the record.
They like the music. They just
They
don't
like
care
the music.
for
They don't care for the band.
Yeah, that's
so, we're still trying to work this record, but, we should have realized what the boat we were in a month before the record, and we could have set up some promotion to do it. So we've been fighting a little bit of an uphill battle on it.
Right.
But because the response has been so positive from people like you and others, and 97 Underground and all
97 Underground.
they've been a huge supporter of ours.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah, for sure. Shut up.
It makes us realize that we're going in the right direction, that what we have to say is worth saying, and that there is a market for what it is we do. And I don't discount what any other band does. if you're writing original music and pushing the pile forward, you're okay with me.
Exactly.
We're just doing our thing, and we're real happy with the response that we got from it. We just probably should have tried a different way of marketing it. How about marketing it, period? Because we really didn't do it.
It's different now. And
Yeah.
you don't know what to do. I had a guy I know in a band. He's in a few bands, and his new album is dropping next week. And he was asking me back in August, he's like, okay, what should we do? How should we push this? Should I release 2 or 3 singles first and then the album? Or, well, get me on your show, do this. Can I do this? What should we do? And I was trying to help him because, when you're doing it yourself, you don't have a record company pushing for you. You got to learn the ropes. And believe me, they change every couple months on how to do it. Now you have TikTok. Now you have this.
business.
It's just crazy on how it changes. And if you want to reach the younger generation, you got to have a little bit of a TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. I have no business being on TikTok, but I'm on there because it promotes the radio station, which promotes bands like Atomic Kings they listen, they hear, and
we're starting to explore some of that now.
Right.
The thing is, as an artist, you're really just focused on the writing and the recording and the mixing of the record and doing a live performance here and there and that, and you don't really think about all the stuff that's involved. Ken's kind of taken a lot of that on himself. We don't have a manager. We don't have a big push behind us. There's no real machinery behind us. Ken's the machinery. And so Ken's always got a lot of ideas of things that, he wants to do, and we talk about them, and, some of them we definitely try, and it's perfect for us to, I'm glad Ken's doing it, because I just don't have the patience to deal with all the crap you got to deal with now to try to get your record.
Plus, you're terrible at computers.
I don't know anything about computers, and
I don't know.
So I can't really talk to anyone because, wow, shit,
still got the rotary phone.
A picture of something, it's not JSON.
Jason doesn't text pictures like that.
He's been hacked.
Now, if Gronk does,
explains what I got the other day. I was like,
it's definitely wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's wrong, and it's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's so wrong.
Right.
Another funny thing is when we all started playing together and we just enjoyed playing with each other, and I think we got so immersed in that and in the writing and it and everything just became so. We got so immersed in it, and then we started recording, and we started doing all those things, and then the album came out, and I, for a minute, I think it was like a guy climbing to the top of a mountain, and you get to the top, and it's like, shit, I didn't think about what we're going to do when we get to the top.
Right.
And so now we're starting to think, in hindsight, but I think we got so immersed in the writing and we really enjoy playing with each other. If we didn't put another album out, we would probably still get together and gather and rehearse without Greg.
Great.
A good one to get your bass
Hey, I thought Jimmy was fired. Now we're firing Greg. Okay, I gotta.
We have a rhythm
You
bassist.
guys are all over the place.
We have a rhythm bassist in the wing. I'm the lead bassist. We have a rhythm bassist.
Rhythm bass.
Behind the curtain. He's behind the
He's
curtain.
behind the curtain, doing all the stuff when I'm busy doing a solo.
We don't have backing tracks, but we have
He's
a
our
backing
Milli
bass.
Vanilli bass in the hole.
I'm just here to look good and play and look like I'm playing bass.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, you
We,
got to look-
it's been a learning experience, and we've learned from it, and we know what we need to do next time and how we need to approach it. And it doesn't take away from this record, in my opinion.
Right. Now,
and
next time you use guys like
we just
me.
know what we're going to do, and if the next one gets promoted correctly, maybe it'll turn some people on to this record that maybe they didn't hear it or they weren't aware of it. Like you said, social media is such a gigantic thing, and then there's so many people that do their own record at their house, and it's on Spotify and this and that. So the number of people and musicians and songs you're competing with is so huge that it's easy to get lost in the shuffle. So
Yeah.
And a lot of people sit there and they've told me before I started doing this and started the radio station, it was always about, okay, I'll click on this and I won't like it. It's not my taste. And then you get so many clicks that you get disappointed that you stop clicking on it because I'm just going to be disappointed, and you just scroll past it. And then there's guys so I took it on, and there's other guys that took it on and said, okay, we're going to start promoting it. And you got podcasts where I sit there and go, okay, I've got to take the lead to where, okay, I've shuffled through everything, weeded through this, clicked on it, went, no, 100 times. And I found, hey, there's the Atomic Kings. People need to hear this one. So then I put it out there. And I put it on the radio station. 97 Underground puts it on theirs. Philly Rock Radio puts it on theirs. So now people are going, okay, I'm hearing it. And I still think radio stations have a part in this where, stop listening to your Hair Nation because they're not giving you anything but regurgitate this music, the same 150 songs, and they're charging you money for it.
It's corporate radio all over again.
It is. Go to Philly Rock Radio, 97 Underground, The Rock Altar. There are radio stations out there that will play what you want, play new music of what you want, and you get fresh stuff. And you can eliminate Facebook altogether and get your music through your listen to this one that day, that one that day. We're all in this together. I'm not here to bag any other radio station. I support every one of them. Just as long as they're putting music out and getting bands like the Atomic Kings out there and heard so that people can hear it. That's what it's all about, or rock dies. And we are not going to have that.
No,
we will not.
We will not. So yeah, 97 Underground does a great job. I see them posting about you. I get their little flyer. They email it to me, and I see what they're doing. And it's like, compared to what I'm doing, kind of, I'm like, okay, we're on the same page. We got the same bands on there. All right, cool. So
it's a great format.
Yeah, and it takes a little time. Our album's been out a couple months now,
right.
But it's almost gone way, way, way back, where how music used to be shared. It used to be sharing it amongst your friends, and right. There was a whole underground movement. It's almost kind of gone back to that. We're starting to get some movement now and starting to, see some things now. So it's still fairly fresh and released. And we've got a new video we're working on now for the song that's going to be coming out, Take My Hand. And
I love that song, dude. That's I have it written down. It's my favorite.
Yeah, nice.
I just put it on there. Being an internet radio station and your own boss, I can put whatever I want on there. I don't have to wait for you to release a single. If I have it, I can put it on there. Unless you tell me, okay, the album's not released yet, just release the single. And I usually do that. If you release a single, okay, I'll go grab it, or you send it to me. But if you send me an album, I get albums all the time 2 months beforehand, and they're like, don't play anything unless we tell you. I know this. Okay, I get it. But after it's released, hey, it's all hands on deck, and whatever song I dig is going on the radio station, because you never know which song is going to touch somebody.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's one of the gratifying
that means
things.
You're playing the whole record.
That's one of the gratifying things about it. Is
I will not admit to that.
that people like different songs off the record.
Right.
Not everyone's favorite song is any one song.
Right.
So I mean, there's people that told me their favorite song is Jimmy's Page, which is completely different than Bloodline.
Yeah. Right.
So and I've also had people say their favorite song is Bloodline or All I Want or Take My Hand or Escape. So there's if we can get that way, that means we've touched on a lot of different emotions. And
Right.
And you kind of got to give them that freedom. Every station is different, and each station has its own listeners and its own taste. And I know in the beginning we were pretty careful. Don't play this one. Don't play this one. But
right.
Now I think if somebody got a hold of the whole album and they have a certain genre or a certain style that their listeners, by all means, as opposed to not play anything,
Right.
play what you think your listeners want to hear. So by all means.
we were kind of adamant at first that we wanted that to be the first single.
That was the lead single. I remember you messaging me and saying,
We were
that was
talking
the
to
right
people
thing to
about that, but now it's like whatever. I mean, we've released a second single in live, and then we're going to release Take My Hand. But really, to us, whatever moves you, play that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And that's what you can do. I mean, whatever reaches somebody, that's all it's about. Okay.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah,
I mean, I could talk to 5 friends and we have 5 different songs that we dig.
Yeah.
Each one, 5 different bands that are our top 5. All our tastes. But we all know we like rock. Okay. There's just different flavors. We all like ice cream. Some like mint chip. I like chocolate chip cookie dough. I mean,
we're really glad to know that.
Stop with the ice cream talk.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Damn it.
Yeah.
No, as long as someone gets something out of it. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure each of us has our own favorite song or favorite song of that day. I mean, if it's just like me, I like every song on the record. So one day it might be Take My Hand, and the next day it might be Holding On. It just depends what I like that day.
As it should be,
So, that's what happens when you strive to make a record that's all killer, no filler.
I was just going to say.
All killer, no filler.
No filler.
That's my favorite line. I can only use that a few times, but this one's one of them albums where it is all killer, no filler. There's not a filler track, a skippable track. I play it in the truck. It starts when I leave work, and it'll end. Bloodline's almost done when I pull in the driveway.
You timed it just for your drive.
You got to
I
get
mean, you guys just had me right from the rip on this album.
Oh, that's awesome.
We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for everybody out there spreading the word.
Yeah, it means a
Hell
lot.
yeah.
And we're on Facebook, obviously, under Atomic Kings and
Instagram.
Instagram.
Atomic
and
Kings Band on Instagram.
TikTok coming soon.
I don't know. Well,
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get some younger person to show us how that works.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
on TikTok.com.
oh my god, dude.
See, I always thought that was a breath mint until I realized.
I know.
I think, meaning, could you get one?
Let's get the little things.
Chiclets.
Yeah. Chiclets.
So cool.
Anything else you guys want to put out there before we end?
Just we appreciate it. We appreciate everybody.
Thank you. Keep it up. Keep up what you're doing.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh,
That
If
concept of it
if
is
someone's
great.
interested in getting the disc, you can always contact us on Facebook. We have some autographed discs that we sell and ship out to people. We just shipped out a dozen or so today. So anyone that's interested in getting an autographed Atomic Kings CD, we got you covered.
Hit us up
We know those guys.
on Facebook or on the Instagram.
We can get it signed for you.
Wow. Yes.
Ken's name is just an X.
We have 47 pins, and one of them will work one of these times.
Ken ain't got him no book learning.
There ain't much of a booker, are you?
Shut up, Festus.
I think we should probably.
But
cut
hey,
this
we
out.
really appreciate you having us.
I am absolutely thrilled we finally got this done. I wanted to do it. I could have just bagged it. There's other times where something didn't work out, and I was like, all right, forget it.
Well,
But it was like I needed to get talking to you guys. I really did need to. Ever since I heard the
hopefully you
album,
weren't too disappointing.
And
you are, but I'm never going to admit that. But it was
wow, somebody
It was Ken, right?
ratings went down, dude. I mean, I was like, shit. Text messages are showing up. What the fuck is this band? I'm like, come
Wow.
on, guys. Be nice. You guys got to be nice out there. God, I'm ignoring my phone for the
Hey,
rest
just
of
tell
the
them to listen to the damn record. Shut up.
Yeah, listen to the record. Shut your pie hole.
Our next record's gonna
That's
be
right.
Our next record's gonna be called "Bite Me."
Bite me.
Buy this record.
Buy this record now. Just a big, yeah. They
Hey,
don't buy
don't worry about it if you don't know who we are. We're for smart people.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really thinking next album, even though there might not be any swear words or any explicit lyrics, just put one of them stickers on it. It'll
Yeah.
go like wildfire, dude. I
Oh,
used to
I gotta
buy
buy
albums like crazy just because of the sticker.
It'll be like sex, violence.
Nudity. I'm buying this.
For all
Hell yeah.
those of you waiting to buy this record, you be very careful. There's very explicit lyrics. There are some pictures on the inside. You want to be careful when you open those up.
You should not be in
Nobody
possession.
around.
Sure, nobody's looking when you
Make
open
sure your dog's in the other room.
We had to get it
Those
printed up
weird
in
dog noises were
Singapore.
pre-recorded.
Yeah.
No animals were hurt during the recording.
Recorded and produced in Thailand.
Thailand.
A really dark corner. That's the only people that would press this.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I'm looking forward to the new album. Looking forward to you guys getting more
Get us a
shows
gig.
together. Try to
Just
get
South
we'll
Carolina.
work together. We'll see what we can pull off around here. I think I know a few people. I'm pretty sure I do. They won't admit that they know me, but I know them. So
I get that a lot with me.
Well, then
Yeah.
you're with a mission.
yeah,
Should you choose to accept it or not?
I accept. Do this. All right, guys.
Take care. Thank you very much.
Fantastic talking to you. And we will end with Take My Hand. Which
Yes.
is
All right.
See everybody.
brand new out.
Peace.
All right. Y'all take care.
You too, man.
Great guys. Well, I tell you, this was going to be a cool show. Next week, fresh off of The Voice. Oh my God. Juliana. Oh my God. I got to I know her name. It's just hard to say. So I've got to look at it when I say it or I'll screw it all up. Where's it at? But she was on The Voice and she didn't make it to the next round, but that doesn't mean shit because she is absolutely fantastic. Everybody knows her voice. Everybody's talking about her now. And we have her coming. Where is she? She's in here somewhere. But we have her coming next week, the 19th, at 7:30, like usual. But she will be here. Oh, my God, where's the thing? Bear with me. I'm looking for the graphic. Then I'll be able to see her name and be able to pronounce it. But it is, where is it at? Oh my God, dude, is that it? That's not it. I can't see it. Band Inc. She'll be here. Juliana. There's three names to it, but I just can't see it right now. But she'll be here next week. She's Band Inc. She was on The Voice. Really killed the Dio thing. She's got her own band, Band Inc. That is absolutely great. Really good. She's young. She's got a great voice. You can't wait to talk to her, to meet her. So just look at the page. I'll put it up. Then you'll see her name. I'm hell with names, hell with pronouncing names. So, but that's next week. And then I will have the next week off because I am actually officiating a wedding, if you can imagine that. Wow. Somebody wants me to officiate their wedding. This is going to go over really, really well. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to the Atomic Kings. Go buy the album. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. And stay tuned right now because we're going to play their most recent single, Take My Hand. So y'all have a great week, and I will see you right here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Later.